You would think heartbreak only happens to the naive, the ones who write love letters they'll never send. But try standing 5 feet away from your idol, while she looks straight at someone else like you don't even exist. It's humiliating. It's devastating. And for me, it was the beginning of something I couldn't run away from. I never planned to fall in love with her. Hell, I never even planned to meet her. Ava Hart, America's shining star. The voice that filled every car radio and late-night diner, was supposed to be untouchable. A dream. And yet, there she was, singing on that stage in Los Angeles, her every note slicing through me like a confession I had no right to hear. The crowd screamed her name, hands reaching out as though they could pull her down from the heavens. I stood still, breathless, clutching the ticket I'd saved months for. My best friend dared me to come. She said it was time to see my obsession up close. But obsession doesn't come close to describing the way Ava's voice made my ribs ache, or how her smile carried the kind of warmth I hadn't felt since childhood. And then it happened. Ava knelt down, eyes scanning the crowd with that smile that could set a city on fire. For a split second I thought she saw me. My chest froze, my lips parted. But her gaze slid past me, landing on a girl beside me with blonde curls and glitter painted across her cheeks. Ava held out her hand, not to me, but to her. The girl screamed and nearly fainted as security lifted her over the barrier. Ava hugged her on stage, spinning her in a dazzling display of joy. The crowd roared. My heart cracked in silence. I told myself it didn't matter. She was famous. I was nobody. A face lost in a sea of thousands. But as I turned to leave that night, a stupid, reckless thought whispered through my mind. Why not me? I left the stadium alone, Los Angeles buzzing with neon lights that blurred through my tears. The city didn't care about one broken heart. But mine cared enough to keep me awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every smile, every note, every moment Ava hadn't chosen me. The next day I should have gone back to my routine. My job at the bookstore didn't require much of me beyond organizing shelves and pretending to read during quiet hours. But my phone wouldn't stop buzzing with clips of Ava's concert, especially the part where she pulled the glitter girl on stage. The internet ate it up. Ava's lucky fan, the headlines said. I threw my phone onto the counter, hating how easily she could destroy me without even knowing my name. And yet, fate doesn't ask if you're ready. 2 weeks later, Ava Hart walked into my bookstore. I swear, for a moment I thought I was hallucinating. She wore sunglasses and a hoodie, trying desperately not to be recognized, but her presence was electric, unmistakable. My hands shook as I rearranged a stack of novels, pretending not to notice. But she noticed me. Do you have anything on poetry? Her voice was softer in person, unpolished, as if she wasn't used to speaking without an audience. I nodded too quickly. Why, yeah, right this way. As I led her down the aisles, I cursed myself for stuttering. But when I glanced back, I caught her studying men at the books, not the shelvism. Her lips parted slightly, like she wanted to say something else but thought better of it. She chose a thin volume of Sylvia Plath and carried it to the counter. My fingers brushed hers as I handed her the receipt, and electricity shot through me so sharp I almost pulled away. She didn't move. Her eyes locked on mine, brown and endless, until I forgot how to breathe. Thank you, she murmured, so quietly I might have imagined it. And then she was gone. That night, I lay awake again, but this time for a different reason. Ava Hart had looked at Muriel. I looked at me. Not like a fan. Not like a stranger. But like something else. I hated myself for hoping. Because hope is dangerous when your heart already belongs to someone who doesn't even know you exist. But days passed and she came back. Always in disguise. Always late in the evening when the store was nearly empty. Each time she'd buy another book, poetry, short stories, anything quiet and intimate. And each time we'd talk a little longer. About writing. About music. About the loneliness of being seen by everyone and truly known by no one. She laughed easily, but there was a sadness beneath it, a weight she carried like a secret. And every time her eyes lingered on me, I felt that dangerous hope growing, curling inside me like fire. One evening, as the sun bled pink across the city skyline, she stayed longer than usual. We sat on the counter, books piled beside us, the store silent around us. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, nervous in a way I had never imagined a star could be. Do you ever feel like you're trapped in a story someone else is writing? She asked softly. I swallowed hard. Every day. Her gaze lingered on me, heavy and searching. Maybe that's why I keep coming here. And then the door jingled, and she left before I could ask what she meant. But the world has a cruel way of reminding you where you stand. A week later, Ava's face was plastered across every news outlet. Not for her music, but for her love life. Paparazzi photos of her holding hands with a model tall, perfect, dazzling spread like wildfire. Headlines screamed about their secret romance. I stared at the screen, my chest hollow. Of course she had someone. Someone who fit. Someone beautiful enough, famous enough, worthy enough. Not me. When she came into the store that night, I almost didn't look at her. I wanted to hate her. To tell her not to play with me. But when her eyes met mine, I saw something raw there, something breaking. Don't believe everything you read, she whispered. I shook my head, bitter. Why should I believe anything at all? Her lips parted, but no words came. For the first time, Ava Hart, the untouchable star, the woman who made millions cry with a single song, looked small, fragile. And I hated how much I wanted to pull her into my arms anyway. Silence hung between us like a thread ready to snap. The hum of the store's old lights filled the space, but my chest roared with 1,000 unspoken words. I wanted to ask her why. Why she kept coming here. Why she looked at me like that. Why it had to hurt this much. Instead, I turned away, stacking books that didn't need stacking. You should go. You've got someone waiting for you, right? Her breath caught, almost like I had slapped her. It's not what you think. I laughed, sharp and bitter. You're Ava Hart. Everything you do is exactly what I think. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she stepped closer, the scent of her perfume wrapping around me, jasmine, soft and warm, unbearably intimate. You don't know me, she said, voice cracking. No one does. I didn't let myself look at her. 'Cause if I did, I'd break. Days turned to weeks. I buried myself in work, avoiding headlines, avoiding music, avoiding the shadow of her voice that followed me everywhere. But Ava didn't stop coming. Sometimes she'd linger at the doorway, unsure if I'd let her in. Sometimes she'd leave without saying a word. And sometimes, when the store was empty, she'd sit across from me, silence heavy but fragile, like we were holding on to something neither of us had the courage to name. But the truth always finds a way to break through. One night, as I closed the store, she stayed behind. She looked exhausted, makeup smudged, hoodie pulled tight around her face. Her hands trembled as she placed a book on the counter but didn't let go. I can't keep lying, she whispered. I froze. Then don't. Her eyes lifted to mine, wide and terrified. They don't know. About me. About who I really love. The photos, the story is theory for them. Not me. Never me. My heart slammed against my ribs. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But trust is fragile when it's been burned before. And what am I supposed to be? I asked quietly. Your secret. Her face crumpled, pain twisting her perfect features. No. I don't want you to be a secret. I don't know how to be free. And in that moment I saw the weight of fame, the cage of expectation, the loneliness she carried like chains. She wasn't untouchable. She was human, broken, and just as lost as I was. I didn't answer her. Not then. Because my heart was a battlefield, torn between anger and longing. The breaking point came 2 nights later. The world discovered her relationship was a stunt. The model went on a talk show, spilling every detail of the deal, contracts, photo ops, stage dates. The internet exploded, half of it mocking, half of it outraged. Ava's name trended for all the wrong reasons. That evening, she showed up at my apartment, drenched in rain, eyes red from crying. I almost didn't let her in, but something in me couldn't close the door. She stood in my living room, dripping onto the carpet, shaking like a child. I didn't know where else to go, she whispered. And just like that, my anger dissolved. Because sometimes love isn't about logic. Sometimes it's about the way someone looks at you when they've lost everything else. I wrapped her in a blanket, made tea, and listened as she poured out her truth. About the contracts, the managers, the lies she was forced to live. About how she envied my quiet little life, my bookstore, my freedom. About how every time she walked into that store, she felt like herself again. And then she said it. I don't want her. I don't want anyone else. I want you. The words hit me like lightning, dangerous and beautiful. I should have been careful. But when she reached for my hand, I didn't pull away. That night changed everything. We didn't kiss, not then. But we sat together until dawn, our hands entwined, her head on my shoulder as the city woke around us. It was fragile, terrifying, and the most real thing I had ever felt. The days that followed were a blur of stolen moments. She'd sneak into the bookstore after hours. We'd read poetry, share stories, laugh until our ribs hurt. And sometimes, when the world outside felt far enough away, she'd lean in and press her lips to mine, soft, trembling, like she was learning how to breathe again. But love in the shadows is never enough. Her team found out. Threats came. Warnings. She was told to stay away from me, to fix her image, to remember she was a brand, not a person. I begged her to choose herself, to choose us. She cried, torn in ways I couldn't imagine. But in the end, she walked away. For weeks I was hollow. I stopped listening to music, stopped caring about books, stopped believing in anything but the ache in my chest. And then one night the world shifted. Ava Hart stood on stage at an awards show, millions watching. She was supposed to sing her latest hit. Instead, she stood there in silence, clutching the microphone like it was the only thing keeping her steady. And then she said it. I'm done pretending. I'm tired of being someone I'm not. I've been lying to myself, to all of you. But I won't anymore. This is who I am. This is who I love. Gasps filled the arena. The internet erupted. But I only heard my own heartbeat as she spoke, her voice breaking, her eyes burning with defiance and fear and hope. I don't know what comes next, she said. But I know I can't live without being true. And I can't live without her. My phone buzzed 100 times that night. Friends, coworkers, strangers. But all I could do was sit there, tears streaming down my face, knowing she had chosen. Not the easy road. Not the safe one. Me. Weeks later, she came back to the bookstore. No disguise. No hoodie. Just Ava, real trembling. The store was empty. The city was quiet. And when she stepped inside, the world fell away. I meant it, she whispered. Every word. If you'll still have me. I didn't hesitate. I crossed the space between us, cupped her face in my hands, and kissed her like the world could end and I wouldn't care. For the first time, there was no stage, no cameras, no lies. Just us. Two girls who had found each other in the chaos, holding on like we'd never let go. They'll write stories about her. They'll twist headlines and spin narratives. But the truth will always be ours. I tried not to fall. God knows I tried. But falling was the best thing I ever did. Because she chose me. And this time I chose her right back. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to get notifications about next videos.